Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today we're going to be doing an Earth Machine deck profile. So I'm really excited to see you guys because this deck was actually suggested to me by one of my patrons, Awalt. And this deck is an extremely powerful deck to be able to turbo out all sorts of really cool machine monsters. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name screen in a single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. And definitely give Awalt some love down in the comments down below for suggesting such an awesome deck. So let's get straight on into this one, guys. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Machina Gearframe. Gearframe is a definite 3 of in the deck because this card has a great ability that when this card is normal summon, you can add a Machina monster from your deck to your hand, which is a really good effect, especially it'll be able to add from our deck to your hand our copy of Unclasper. Unclasper plus your copy of Gearframe is an instant rank 4 play, which is just amazing because your copy of Unclasper has the ability, if this card is added to your hand except by drawing it, you can just instantly special summon this card from your hand, but it does lock you into summoning machine monsters for the rest of the turn, but that's fine because that's all we're summoning anyways. But that's an amazing combo to be able to do to instantly go in for Garganta X, so you can start going in for your combos. By just simply normal summoning out your copy of Gearframe, you can search this card from the deck, special summon it to your side of the field, and then use its ability to be able to send a Machina monster from your deck to the graveyard, which is a really cool ability to be able to do when this card is normal or special summon, because we can send from our deck to the graveyard a bunch of really cool targets, one of which being our copy of Ruin Force. Ruin Force is a crazy powerful boss monster. It's super easy to summon in this deck and comes out at 4,600, which is a huge boss monster. This card is really easy to summon to your side of the field because it cannot be normal summoned or set. It must be special summoned from your graveyard by banishing machine monsters from your grave whose total levels equal 12 or more. And when your opponent activates a card effect during the battle phase, quick effect, pay half your life points to negate the activation. If you do that, half your opponent's life points, making it easy to OTK your opponent. It also has the ability, if this card is destroyed by battle by card effect, you can actually special summon up to 3 of your banished Machina monsters whose total levels equal 12 or less, which is a really cool ability instantly to replace this card with other cards. We then play a single copy of Citadel. Citadel is really helpful in the deck because it is a level 10 monster that's super easy to summon to your side of the field and can also board wipe your opponent's cards, which is just really nice. It cannot be normal summoned or set, it must be special summoned by a card effect, and has the ability quick effect, target a machine monster you control and destroy that machine monster and all monsters your opponent controls with attack less than or equal to it, making it super easy to get at your opponent's life points. And if a face-up Earth machine monster you control except a copy of this card is destroyed by battle of a card effect while this card's in the grave, you can instantly special summon this card to your side of the field, which is a really cool ability. We then play just a single copy of Fortress. Fortress is an awesome extender in the deck, and it's a really cool boss monster to be able to play in the deck as well. We then play 3 copies of Harvester. Harvester is really good as a normal summon in this build as well. Besides your copy of Gearframe, this is one of the best normal summons in the deck, because if this card is normal or special summon, you can add any Infinitrack card you want from your deck to your hand, which is a really cool ability to add any of your Infinitrack monsters. I love this card as a 3-up in the build, and it's just super helpful in the deck. A lot of your Infinitracks also share the ability that you can target one other machine monster you control, and the level of both those monsters become the combined original level of both the monsters, which is a really cool ability to be able to use. I love that about the cards because it makes it super easy to go in for XZ plays. We then play just a single copy of Anchor Drill. Anchor Drill is really good as a 1-up in the deck because it has a really cool ability. If it's normal or special summon, you can special summon 1 Earth machine monster from your hand in defense position except another copy of this card, which is great just to extend your plays. We then play 2 copies of Trencher. Trencher is great as a 2-up in the deck and basically is like Monster Reborn, and it's a really good card because you can tribute any Earth machine monster that's on your side of the field to special summon this card from your hand in defense position. You can also banish this card from your graveyard and then target a level 5 or lower Infinitrack monster in your graveyard and special summon that monster in defense, which is a great effect for this card to have. We then play a single copy of Brutal Dozer. Brutal Dozer is an amazing extender in this deck as well. It lets you treat an Earth Machine monster to special summon this card from your hand in defense, and if it's special summoned from your hand, you can actually special summon an Infinitrack monster from your deck in defense, except another copy of this card, but negate its effects, which is a great ability to instantly get another Infinitrack monster on your side of the field. The only downside of this card is for the rest of the turn after you use the ability, you cannot special summon monsters except Earth Machine monsters, which is a little bit of a downside for our copy of Unclasper and our copy of Ruin Force, but we play a lot of Earth Machines in the deck anyways. We then play just a single copy of Tunneler. Tunneler is amazing in the deck because it has an awesome graveyard effect that you can banish this card from the grave and then target 5 Earth Machine monsters in your grave and shuffle them into the deck and then draw 2, which is a great ability about this card. Plus, it has 500 defense points, making it super easy to search off your copy of Gearbox. We then play a single copy of Road Roller. Road Roller is an amazing one-of in this deck. I love this card in the deck as a one-of. You don't really need any more than a single copy. I could see 2 copies, but I like just the one in this build. But it's an awesome extender because if an Earth Machine monster is treated or banished face up, you can special summon this card from your graveyard or your hand, wherever it was, and it banish it when it leaves the field, which is a really cool ability to be able to use with this card. Also, it has the ability that an Earth Machine monster or a machine monster that uses this card as a material gains the ability that face-up monsters your opponent controls are changed to defense position, and also they lose 1,000 defense points, which is a great ability to almost Bagooska your opponent's monsters while also dropping them down so you can get through your opponent's monsters and OTK. We then play a single copy of Gearbox. Ancient Gearbox is really good to be able to play in this deck. It's a card you're searching all the time in the deck, and if this card is added from your deck or graveyard to your hand, except by drawing it, you can add an Earth Machine type monster with 500 attack and or defense from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card, which is a really good ability to be able to use with this card to grab the exact card you need. You have a lot of targets in the deck to be able to use with this card. We then play a few train cards. We're going to be playing a single copy of Super Express Train. This card is an awesome extender because it has the ability of all monster controller Earth Machine monsters minimum 1. You can special summon this card from your hand, making it a great extender in the deck. 1 copy of Heavy Freight Train. Heavy Freight Train is also a great extender in the deck. It makes it super easy to make Gustav Max as well because we do play 3 level 10s in the form of these 2 and your copy of Citadel, which is really good. Your copy of Ruin Force is usually just going to stay on the field, but it's really good in this deck as well. But your copy of your Heavy Freight Train has the ability that if an Earth Machine type monster is normal or special summoned to your field, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if this card is detached as next Z material and sent to the graveyard, you can activate that monster. To activate that monster's effect, you can turn any card your opponent controls and destroy it, which is a great ability. We then play 2 copies of the Terverion King Regulus. Regulus is amazing as a 2 of the deck because this card is a walking negate and it's ridiculously easy to put on your side of the field. Just by basically targeting a machine monster in the graveyard, you special summon this card and equip that card to this card, making it very easy to put on your side of the field. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom because it's one of the best hand traps in the game just to stop your opponent from touching the deck. And then 3 copies of Droll and Lockbird. Droll and Lockbird is really amazing because after your opponent searches, you just drop this card and stop them from searching anymore for the rest of the turn, essentially locking down your opponent. This card can win games on its own. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start off with a single copy of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is really good as a one-of in the deck. Just stop your opponent from hand trapping you while you're going in for all of your plays. We then play 3 copies of Redeployment. Redeployment is a definite 3-of in the build and just an amazing card overall in this deck. This card is almost like a double search, which is just really cool because it lets you discard a card to add 2 Machina monsters with different names from your deck to your hand, which is a really cool ability to be able to use just to instantly add 2 cards. This card reminds me a lot of Pendulum Call, where you can add 2 monsters from your deck to your hand off this card's ability, which is just so cool. It also has the ability you can discard a Machina card to add 2 Machina unlocking cards with different names from each other from your deck to your hand, which is a really cool ability to be able to instantly get two of the same card or two different cards that you need, including the trap card, which is just really cool off this card's ability. I love this card as a 3-of in the deck, and it's just an amazing searcher overall, especially when you're basically playing like 6 copies of Gear Frame when you play this in the deck. We then play 3 copies of Heavy Ford. This card is like tanky for your Infinitrack cards. When this card is activated, you can add an Infinitrack monster from your deck to your hand, which is a really cool effect. We then play 3 copies of Urgent Schedule. Urgent Schedule belongs in any Earth Machine deck because this card instantly gets you 2 monsters on your side of the field, which is amazing. You can use this card offensively or defensively, which is really amazing because if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon a level 4 or lower and a level 5 or higher Earth Machine type monster from your deck in defense position, but negate their effects. And you cannot declare an attack the turn you activate this effect, except with machine monsters, which is fine because that's all we're summoning anyways. This card is a definite 3-of in the build and helps out a lot for the consistency, but you can use this card if your opponent board wipes your field besides your spells and traps and this card is set. You can basically activate this card in the battle phase to give you 2 monsters to protect you, one of which is going to be really big because it can be a copy of, say, Citadel to protect your life points. So that's it for the spells. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to start up with a single copy of Overdrive. Overdrive is amazing, and you only need 1 copy of this card because you can easily get to it with your copy of Redeployment, which is why I like just a single copy in the deck. It lets you target a machine monster you control, and then special summon a machine monster with a different name from your hand or deck, and if you do, destroy the targeted monster, which lets you replace it, which is just a really cool ability. It also has the ability you can banish this card from your graveyard, which is a really cool effect, and then target 3 of your machine monsters that are banished and or in the grave and shuffle them back in the deck and then draw a card, which is a great ability for this card to have. I feel like 1 is totally fine in the deck. You really don't need more than a single copy of this card in the build. We then also play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Impermanence is amazing as a 3-of in the deck just to stop your opponent's monster effects, to basically lock down entire columns of spells and traps if you set this card and then activate it as well, which is just really cool about this card. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, guys, we're going to start with 3 copies of Goliath. Goliath is a definite 3-of in the build because this card just helps you combo so much in this deck, and it's just a great card overall in the build to work with all of your different Infinitrack cards. We then play a single copy of Cleafort Genius. This card is really good as a 1-of in the deck because this card has a great ability that this link summon card is unaffected by spell or trap effects and the activated effects of other link monsters, and once per turn, you can actually target a face-up card on each player's field except this card, and both of those cards have their effects negated until the end of the turn, which is a great ability to lock down your opponent. It also works really well with your copy of Urgent Schedule because when 2 monsters are special summoned at the same time to zones this card points to, you can actually add a level 5 or higher machine monster from your deck to your hand, which works really well with your copy of Urgent Schedule. We then play a single copy of Platinum Gadget. Platinum Gadget's just a great 1-of in the deck as an extender because during your main phase, you can special summon a level 4 lower machine monster from your hand to a zone this card points to, which is a really cool ability to use with this card. We then play a single copy of Ancient Gear Ballista. Ballista is really good because this card has the ability, if this card is link summoned, you can get an Ancient Gear monster from your deck to your hand, which is a great ability to work with your copy of Box. This card is amazing in the deck. We then play a single copy of Double-Headed Anger Knuckler. This card is great in the deck as well because it works with a lot of the cards in this particular build, and it's just one of the most powerful cards in the entire extra deck. We then play a single copy of Garganta X. Garganta X is great in this deck as well because it has a great search ability that once per turn you can actually detach a material from this card to add a level 4 or lower machine type monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand, which is a great effect to be able to use with this card to get the exact card you need. Plus, it's super easy to put on your side of the field by just normal summoning Gear Frame, searching out your copy of Clasper, special summoning Unclasper to your side of the field, using its ability to dump, say, Ruin Force or something like that, and then making this card to search another card from your deck is just super easy to be able to do. We then play a single copy of Riverstormer. Riverstormer is great in this particular build because it has the ability you can detach a material from this card and then take an Earth Machine type monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard, getting it exactly where you need it. We then play a single copy of Earth Slicer. Earth Slicer is crazy powerful because it lets you detach any number of materials from this card and then target that many cards on the field and destroy them. And this card comes out at 3,100, so it's massive. We then play a single copy of Phantom Fortress. This card is insane at outing cards, and it's just super cool in this deck. It lets you detach a material to activate one of 4 effects, which is super cool. And it lets you banish a card that your opponent controls, non-targeting, banish a random card from your opponent's hand, banish a card from your opponent's graveyard, or banish the top card of your opponent's deck face up, which is a great ability for this card to have. Play a single copy of Gustav Max to be able to burn for 2,000 and help us go in for a copy of Lieb. Play a single copy of number 81. This card is great to be able to make in the deck. It's just really good as a defensive play because you can activate the ability during either player's turn to detach a material from this card, target a face-up monster on the field, and that target is unaffected by card effects except its own until the end of the turn, which is a great ability to target this card because the only way your opponent's really going to out this card is making a really big monster that's over 4,000, or they're going to have to kaiju through this card. We then play a single copy of Juggernaut Lieb. Juggernaut Lieb is how we OTK the opponent a lot of times, plus it's super easy to make in the deck because we play so many different rank 10 or level 10s in the deck to be able to make our rank 10s in this particular build so that we can go in for a copy of Juggernaut Lieb. We then finally play a single copy of Zeus. Zeus is just too good not to play, especially with all the different XZs that we're playing in the deck. It's very easy to make and really good to be able to board wipe the opponent. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played Earth Machine before, you should definitely give this deck a try. I really love this deck because it plays so many different archetypes in one, which is just super, super cool. And it's really fun to be able to play. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can become part of the notification squad. And we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.